The Chiefs have been in the news a lot this last week, some for free agents, others for off the field. We'll talk it all next on Gridiron Gambit.
Welcome, Chiefs Kingdom. Thanks for tuning in to this Red Kingdom Media production, bringing you raw, authentic Chiefs coverage. Make sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date on your team. Now sit back and enjoy the show.
Let's work. Hey.
Welcome to this early week edition of Gridiron Gambit. I'm your host, Clinton, and joined with me are my two co-hosts, Dale and Lonnie, on this Tuesday evening. We've seen a lot of NFL news pass us by, and we got a lot of stuff cramped in the last 4 or 5 days that we've all seen. Some good, some bad, but a lot going on. Twitter being down for a bit makes half that news just disappear for a while. So that was an insane Monday trying to keep up with those notifications as well. But guys, how are you feeling this Tuesday evening, and what are your thoughts about how the last few days of NFL news has taken its toll on you?
I mean, I've been good. It's free agency is being free agency. Fluctuation everywhere, ins and outs, new people in, new faces in. Old faces out, some faces remaining in the same places that they've been in for a long time. So free agency being regular old free agency, good, crazy, and wild, like it's been this past couple of years.
Yeah, it's been fun, honestly. Watching it. This is my favorite time of the year, especially once it comes towards the off season and we get into March. It start popping off very quick. We saw a lot of things happen Saturday and Sunday. People getting released, some people getting traded. Getting through all of that before the tempering period, and then it start hitting right red hot, 12 o'clock Eastern time on that Monday. So, and now, we're about to get another wave soon as well, too, even though we had a good amount of sightings today. But with tomorrow being the official start of free agency, a lot of people like to do a lot of work tonight as well. So it's been entertaining. And the Chiefs, this is kind of the earliest we have seen them actually do work, especially, when we lose the Super Bowl, it's a different story. But, the last 2 years prior, we won. So it's like we start making moves on that particular free agency day. But seeing them do it early on, it's been exciting. It's been fun.
Dale, I completely agree. It's felt like a lot of stuff is happening sooner and quicker and more recent into this new year. It always felt like we would at least get a couple week break. But it was not even a full week ago when we came out and broke the news about Joe Thuney's being traded to the Chicago Bears. And, other than like a day or two, the Chiefs have been pretty active in terms of, the free agent moves, making decisions. The first topic that we'll address here pretty soon. But the NFL and the Chiefs have been, very quick on getting back out there and being in the spotlight again in terms of, player movements and things of that nature. So if you thought you were going to get a break from the NFL during this month after the Super Bowl, nope. The offseason started that night after, and the Chiefs have been making moves. So let's go ahead and jump into our first topic, which is not related to Brett Veach, but it is in fact about the Worthy arrest and his release. So Xavier Worthy was arrested last Saturday on domestic violence allegations, but the case was quickly dismissed. So what do you make of this news, and how do you think the Chiefs feel about having another story out there unrelated to football around their wide receivers?
It's upsetting. You hate to see them in that position, but we learned from the Tyreek Hill situation. We wait. We are the founders of these type of problems. Like, I'm just going to be honest. We have experienced this before. And what happened that same day we heard of the arrest? He was dropped of all charges and the truth came out. Now, I think we got to watch out how we judge these particular situations, because we you know, when you are with a partner, you're with somebody, that's the decision, of course, that person makes. But honestly, they must see something in them that they love and they enjoy, right? And we're not here to talk about his relationship and what they have going on. So for those who always want to say that these guys need to watch the girls that they get with, bro, I'm making sure my wife. No, some of these women act like this. A lot of them, bro. Stop. Like, we can't stay here. Like, you don't know which one you gonna grab, and they might act the same way. Like, we've been seeing this weird trend as well too, especially with these young guys getting money early and what these females is here for. So, just putting that out there. I'm sorry, this is not to hurt our female audience as well too. I'm just saying, we don't know. My guy didn't cut off his hair. He got them dreads pulled out. He was the victim. He had to sit in there, man. He had to sit in there. But that's what happened with this message disputes. When they happen, they use jail as a cooling period, bro. You know what I'm saying? Lonnie, shut up, bro. Stop laughing. You over there laughing, and we gonna keep that. This is not coming home for nobody, all right? We know, bro, what's going on. Nah, but for real, you know, the situation sucks, bro. And I'm glad, and like they said too, what we seen in the chat space, I think he handled the situation well. He came out, you know, he posted on social media, you know, he said, you know, new beginnings, had the haircut. I think he looking at it in a positive light, like, okay, I'm out of this situation now, I can focus on football. Y'all just made a monster. Thank you, Miss Mel. We appreciate you. Now he going for like 1,500 that we said Rashid Rice was supposed to go for last season. Now he gonna get it, because now you got him messed up. And, you know, he taking pictures with his kids out there, with the kids out there in the neighborhood. Like, PR is going to work. You know what I'm saying? Like, they are going to work. Keep it up. That's all I'm gonna say.
I mean, you said it best, kind of, Xavier Worthy. We've been in this situation before with wide receivers. Andy Reid, you know, he loves his problem children. Even his kids are known to have problems themselves. So it's not nothing that we haven't seen before. Happy he was able to get expunged, all those charges expunged. It's something that we don't want to continue to see, however, from the Chiefs' young wide receivers. I think it's a point of emphasis that the Chiefs have to come in and kind of hammer home something that you just kind of don't want to keep touching on. I think this needs to be an introduction to any new rookies and really just anybody coming onto the team. The spotlight is on you. This team has won two of the last 5 Super Bowls. I'm sorry. So you're in the middle of the spotlight. You're the heart of the NFL. Everybody is watching you. You have to watch what you're doing. You have to be able to control yourself in situations where you normally wouldn't be able to control yourself. You have to be better, upper echelon. Know where you are in this world and kind of where you when you get on this team, where you're sitting in, and kind of what you are in media. People are going to use you to get on certain platforms and to get certain traction on certain platforms and to write certain stories about you. So just don't give them a chance to do that. And when you do things like this, you give them a chance to be able to do that. And I think Xavier Worthy, if he could go back, he probably would change some things. However, like I said, I'm happy to see all charges were expunged, but the bigger thing I think is for the Chiefs organization, they need to try and just hammer home how important it is to just kind of uphold the standard outside of the organization. Just because we keep seeing this one too many times with the Chiefs wide receivers, I don't know what else is going to take for us to really kind of start taking it serious. We got to stop. People got to stop coming and get in trouble. Like it's starting to become not cool. Like, you know, like it's cool that they can play. You can play ball. You can do everything, but I mean, be a model citizen too, bro. So like, but I'm happy to see all charges were expunged. But like I said, they got to hammer this home deeper, I think, as an organization. I'm pretty sure they will. Just the people coming in to get that personal conduct under control.
Bro, we've been dealing with this since the Wayne Bowl. Like, I've been telling y'all, I've been low-key saying this to y'all since we even started this platform and before the platform happened. We are used to these type of citizens. Yeah. That's what happens. That's why we're great. We have, long as your team was cool, we win ships. Just get somebody come in here. You got to have You gotta have a case. You gotta be a felon at some capacity, or we're not winning. I'm sorry. That's what it has
Yeah,
to be.
and
All
it's
right,
funny.
I'm done, bro. I'm really
It's
done
funny,
because
but it's like you really want. At the end of the day, you want them to be. You want
for
them to
real,
be stand up men, bro. At the end of the day, you
yeah,
don't
for
want to
real,
have to
for real.
fight. No, nothing. Make your money legit because at the end of the day, this is another reason that the Chiefs get a chance to re-sign these guys. You go out and win championships with a team like the Chiefs. And now they looking at you like, oh yeah, he won all these games, he did all this, but he might go get suspended because he just fought his girlfriend last 2 off seasons ago and he didn't play for a game. Now he got suspended for a game. So we don't know what he's gonna do in the offseason. So now we question and giving him money. That held Tyreek Hill back. So like you gotta just be smart, bro. You gotta be smart about everything you do and how you moving. You might not hurt your money right then in the moment, but you hurting your money down the line, the money that you can't see. So it's something that they, like I said, they got to get under control. Go ahead, Quinn. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I know Dale's wanted to spout how he did. So, do the Chiefs like this? No, they don't, because they just had a story come out last spring about a wide receiver getting in trouble. And obviously our takes would be a lot different if everything didn't quickly dissolve right after everything. As quickly as it came out, it also disappeared. If this is lingering and some of it started ringing more truthful, that would cause more alarms. And there are some fans that would feel some type of way, and there's NFL media that would feel some type of way as well, and they would be completely justified. And I hear what you guys are saying, that sometimes being, on this Andy Reid led team and just the nature of it, that he'll take more chances, which means, you'll have some more character concerns like this. For me, it just comes down to, you have Patrick Mahomes right there in the locker room. Talk about a guy who's basically known what the spotlight was before it was ever placed on him, because he's always had the media around him. So he's had all this like media training inbred into him without having to go through it himself. He knew what to do before actually having to do it, and then did it right when he had to go through it. And he had to do that at a very young age. So you have a, model citizen, model player to kind of go under the learning tree and get these, this wise counsel to avoid these type of situations. Hey, by the way, here's the type of person to look at. And if you notice these things, make sure that you're not, letting them too close, or watch these certain money habits. The things that were gotchas to him or other players that he grew up in the NFL around, or MLB or college or anything like that. Like, use these past experiences and be willing to be that wise leader, and give these guys those helpful hints. Even if they don't take it, so be it. But let that be something that gets known, that, hey, Patrick Mahomes takes this serious, that he's trying to let a locker room carry a certain etiquette and poise and character. And these off the field stories aren't happening as much or as frequent, or, like this, they disappear as almost a non-story. But unfortunately, Lonnie, you're right. It's a story because it comes out, it's the main news. This is happening, right before all the actual tampering period moves were coming in. So everyone got to see the spotlight. Xavier Worthy got all the attention right there, and it was for a negative reason. So you hate to see that. And I understand that certain players, you have that risk when you have that lifestyle and being in the NFL and everybody wanting something from you, a piece from you. It's hard to say no. It's hard to watch out for those things. I completely get that. And Bobby Witt is another player in here in Kansas City. I know he's baseball related, but he also had a baseball player dad, knew what it was like to be in the media at a very young age, and then what it was like to essentially be the star and carry a team. And we're not even asking Xavier Worthy or any other young players to do that. Patrick Mahomes is more than capable of doing that. But to have that ownership underneath Patrick Mahomes to say, I do have to feel like I'm carrying my part, because I know what this guy has done and his adversity and all the right choices that Patrick Mahomes makes. So seeing him as that example, I'm going to choose to follow that. And then all these other decisions and on the field production accumulate in that way. So I know you can't fully get rid of stuff like this, but I do know that the Chiefs can't be happy that this is becoming a yearly or every 3 or 4 month stories at times with their players, and they want to just only in the media when they're doing good deeds in the community or winning Super Bowls. That's it. That's what they want to be known for.
So, is this a safe space? Can we call this a safe space? Like, don't get scared, Cliff. Just say safe, because this nothing bruise gonna come out. Nothing like this. Like, Red Kingdom Media, our people that's tapped in right there. This is gonna be a safe space. About to talk the real. Low key is some cultural things that's involved in that as well too. Not gonna lie. You're right, because they're like on some honestly, like Mahomes does. We know he's a mixed player. He has a black father and a white mother. We know that. Why we know? Of course, he's Caucasian. We know that. Like, I'm being real, and like you said, they have fathers who are in the league. When I say this culture difference though, it's the women that they attract to, and you've seen it with the NBA players as well. They have these basketball wives. They are enjoying a lifestyle, what they're being a part of. I'm gonna be honest with our young generation. Y'all stupid. Y'all don't know how to shut up and just kind of play your part, bro. Like, these women know how to get a bag, bro. Like, you got OGs like Drell who been doing it, who's a basketball wife. You see what she going. I'm being real. I'm just saying it. Like, y'all not P. I'm like, this is slang right now. For y'all know, y'all just not with it. You know what I mean? So when I'm saying that, why I'm saying this is y'all don't know how to like just calm down and chill. And this is gonna be for our athletes as well too. You don't go out here. We shouldn't be spazzing. And I heard he said, like, can you leave the house as well? Like, can you please leave? So he wanted you to leave so it doesn't get to that point. But y'all can't get dependent when y'all feel like y'all got a lick. You know, you need to still be able to handle your business. The Dreas and them, they know that them basketball players was getting around on the road. I'm being real. I'm just saying, you need to be smart on what you doing too. I shouldn't even be giving this type of game. Like, I'm just being real. Like, it's not, y'all gotta work together, bro. Y'all gotta work together when it comes to this. Like, this is a platform where we're gonna keep it real for you, and we don't tell the whole truth. They not doing it right. You gotta calm down. You gotta chill out. Xavier Worthy, you gotta be smarter when it comes to this type of situations, because we know you're not gonna stop being in a relationship. You're gonna eventually find someone else as well too. So you gotta be smarter with the next situation that you have, and even for that young lady as well too, who just went through it with him. You gotta be smarter on what you're doing. If you're not going to be in a relationship, don't be in a relationship. You know, do what you do. Stay out of it. You know, but y'all have to be on one accord, because that type of information, that type of business shouldn't go out to the media. That's something that should be handled in-house. Back in the day, before all this social media, that stuff was handled in-house. We didn't know about all of that because we didn't have that access. Y'all got to be smarter. Y'all got to understand that whatever you do, it's going to be seen in the world. We got hackers, we got scammers, you got people who doing all these type of things. You need to be smart. That's why some people watch out what they do on their phone. So,
and Dale, before that, there were people that scoped news or newspapers, and newspapers would scope out arrest records and be like, oh, such and such player got arrested. So it's not just social media. Media in general looks for negative, scandalous things, and that's just.
But you know, it gets out there quicker. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's just with social media like Facebook, all that, X, we see everything goes out quicker. You see what they run to now goes out quicker. Like, you're right. They used to go to pull up the criminal reports and all that. But people had to, of course, how can I say that? They were going online to TMZ, finding these things. You know, we were still in that era to where it wasn't as popular, you know? So it wasn't getting out there as quick unless you was listening to local radio as well. But you see now with X, Facebook, Instagram, all this, Everybody putting that information out. The first person to see it, they going off engagement as well too. They putting on their page. This that this going on. Yep, and then you got 2.5 million people watching. So it's just you gotta watch out with that as well too. But at the same time, he young, and he gonna be smarter as well. But
and Dale, I think to your point,
get it.
that says why we're different, because some other places or anything like that would have immediately jumped on and started talking Xavier Worthy as soon as the news came out, and that would have been the end of it. But then they would have had to jump back on later that evening and the very next day and be like, actually, sorry, the entire stream we did last night is completely bogus because we were just reacting to what we saw. So to another point is you got to wait until you officially have the full story. And with social media, it is very copy paste. This thing happened. I need to get my say and get it out to you. So it's hard to not slow it down and say, do I have the full picture? And is this worth sharing out right now? Or do I need more of the facts to start trickling in? So all in all, it's disappointing that this news, like you said, hits the news market and out there, and that it becomes something that Chiefs Kingdom it discusses. But it's good that it had the ending as quickly as it was. And that way, like you said, maybe it just gives a more motivated Xavier Worthy something to aspire to next season, besides being the leading receiver in the Super Bowl and losing and having more pressure depending on Rashee Rice's suspension. So we will see how that goes. I know that we're very itching to start talking about the free agents movements that happened, but we got to pay the bills first. So before we move on, make sure to like and subscribe. Follow us on all of our social media platforms at Red Kingdom Media. If you're listening to us on Spotify, thanks. You're probably one of one. Give us 5 stars if that's you. Let us know that you enjoyed this. If you're watching us on YouTube right now or after the fact, leave a comment in the chat or in the comment section, and we'll get back to you on that as well. If you want some extra content from us, we do have our Substack. At this point, we've put out several Arrowhead alerts about the most recent Chiefs signings that have happened over the last 4 or 5 days. And we will also have some paid article series starting back up here end of this week and starting through the off season through the draft. So if you want to check out our Substack, make sure to hit the link down below. Perhaps you'd like to get a shirt. If you want to hit us up in our Twitter handles or the Facebooks or whatever, if you want to reach out to us and set up an order for some t-shirts, we can get that to you, and hopefully y'all would enjoy that. So let us go ahead and move on to our next topic, which I have called Do We Need More? Yes, spelled that way on purpose. Brett Veach has been making some under-the-radar moves after ensuring returning free agents that we have already talked about in 2 previous episodes of Gridiron Gambit, if you guys want to check those out. So of this current crop of players, who was most notable, good or bad, and which flashy free agent or trade candidate should KC have targeted?
Yeah, so you said which one was the most coveted? Can you ask the question again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, who was most notable? Like who sticks out the most to you?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take the bait that was given in the question and go with Mr. Moore. I don't want to mispronounce his first name. Jalen Moore
with an O.
I don't, because I keep getting confused with I don't want to say Elijah Moore, because Elijah Moore is a wide receiver, right?
Jalen. Yeah, Elijah Moore is a wide receiver.
But we got somebody named Elijah Mitchell, so it makes me want to, I'm getting the 2 names crisscross, whatever. So yeah, Elijah Moore. Not Elijah Moore. I'm sorry. What's his name?
Jalen Moore.
Jalen Moore. I think it was a good pickup. I think that was the most coveted pickup. I think that was the guy that I've been talking about on these past couple pods that we've been having from Red King, from Chiefin to the last episode, the postseason episode, or the debrief that we had. You needed to get somebody in the tackle position that we could trust. I feel like this is the move that the Chiefs were supposed to make last year, and they just didn't do it. They went into the season thinking that they were going to be able to use what they had at the position and go in and draft somebody in the draft. They trusted in their scouting department, and it just didn't pan out last year. They kind of waited around to the last minute, nilly-willy, kind of playing with their money. Then drafted a guy to the likes of Kingsley Suamatia, flaunted it in front of us like it was going to work, and then they didn't have a plan after that. So I think this is kind of the move that the Chiefs probably was looking to make last year, but just didn't get around to making it, to kind of get a guy that's more like somebody you haven't really heard of, somebody that backed up one of the greatest tackles in the league, Trent Williams, somebody that in the 7 games that he's played, we didn't hear his name, which is a good thing from an offensive tackle. So I like the pickup. This is what they had to do. I don't think this, in no way, this is the long-term answer. Looking at his age, but it'll work for now, and let them be able to go into the draft and kind of throw bodies at the position, and even go out into the market. And if they want to still grab a DJ Humphries and make competition, grab somebody in the draft and make some more competition there, or grab some guys going into training camp, closer to training camp when guys get cheaper, and just try and cause some competition and get the best out of each person at that left tackle position. You're trying to get the best left tackle. So, and I feel like this is the type of move that they had to make in order to get to start to get a plethora of guys at that position, so they can make the correct decision. Because I think it's going to take more than one. You're going to have to try and throw multiple bodies, like I said, at the position. You're not going to just be able to fix it. I think with one guy for a long term. This guy is just a stopgap. And yes, I know he's got the 20 M's up front. We were talking about that off air, Dale. We think people are going to be side-eyeing him a little bit because he only played 7 games. He got 20 M's.
Chris Jones, I'm seeing you first day of practice just so y'all can shut up. That's when I'm on.
That's what it should be. I mean, and that, like that's what I said off air. I feel like, with him getting 20 M's, they definitely going to probably put Mahomes back there with the whistle, and it's him. It goes Chris Jones and then Karlaftis, and it's not going to be good if they get around you. But I think it's not going to just be solely on him. He knows it coming in with that type of price tag, what comes with that. But I think they're also going to get guys at the position just in case this guy doesn't work, because we gave him all this money up front, and I know y'all don't like that. We can get rid of him on the back end, and we got somebody that we can probably come answer the bell. So I know he's going to be lined up first, but we're going to see who's going to be lined up behind him, because it's going to be a whole bunch of guys at that position. I feel like they get a shot, but I like that signing the most, Jalen Moore.
I think the Chiefs want him to be the long-term future. 27 years old, 2-year deal. This is not similar. You can say it's somewhat similar to what we did with Orlando Brown, even though he was already a starter, but we traded our first-round pick for it. The reason why I say that, because do y'all not remember that we were trying to trade for Trent Williams, who was 32 years old? You're playing behind him. I guess we could just get the second best bet. Like, that's cool. Well, let's just go ahead and do that. But all in all, I think the move, when you look at it and you look at the tape as well, we talked about this off air a couple times. We see that I've seen that a couple times. People like to try to run around him, and they try to, of course, extend. But he is pretty quick with his feet. Once he gets onto you, he definitely makes it tough for you, and he fights. And he has good arm length as well. And I think that's something that Andy Reid would like to see at the left tackle position on the line. And with 22 mil up front, and go ahead and go look at it. Like, even though he didn't start a lot with the 49ers, he had a good amount of games, and he played a good amount of games as well, too. And, it was times where Trent Williams had to, of course, be out. And he was somebody who came in at left tackle, wanted them to go to right tackle, but he was like, nah, he does better at left tackle. I think that's why they said, no, we're going to see that. This 2-year deal, what it does is, if you are horrible, we can't walk away. But we are betting on you this year. Like, I'm sorry, we're betting on you this year. Stopgap, like you said. But if you go crazy, you're young enough where we can give you an extension. Kingsley as well. you're at left guard. Like, we're projecting you to be at left guard. You can kind of put yourself back up there, gain your confidence again. You were a second round pick. We need to feed off of that. But DJ Humphries, you can come back for like $6 million, $5 million, vet minimum deal. Be here just in case, because you're still trying to get back on your feet as well, right? You can go ahead and see what your market is talking about, but if it's not working out with you, go ahead and come back. So we got bodies at that spot, and that doesn't mean that you don't do anything in a draft as well too. We got those 2 compensatory picks in the 7th round. Even though we're probably not going to use it then, but who knows? I think the first couple rounds, we'll talk about that when we get to that time, but I think we're going to try to hit on defense. I think they wanted to go ahead and take care of that tackle position because we know that was the most important. So this was the hottest topic. We know this is one we will talk about, but yeah. But that pickup we got today with Christian Fulton, I like it. A lot of people is not a big fan of it. They say, of course, the Chargers fans and Tennessee fans say that he gets burnt a lot. However, as long as you better than Najee Johnson and Joshua Williams, and they say he is an outside corner as well too. And I saw his film; he's pretty good. He is great at the point of attack. He does tackle well. He thinks quick. That's what we like with our corners. When it comes to it, you better be ready to hit. You better be able to attack the point of attack, attack the ball, and be confident in what you're going to do. I feel like he's going to merge well with Spagnuolo, and he's only 26 years old as well too. So he was with Tennessee for the first 4 years, was with the Chargers last year, and that was his first full season as well too. He was hurt throughout that Tennessee tenure. So when you look at that, we have a farm system, y'all. Y'all need to be aware of that. And Clayton, I know you want to go, but I'll talk about that farm system in a little bit.
Well, yeah, I guess I'll react to both of those players that you both have mentioned now before I give mine. For Jalen Moore, I got to say, I don't have strong feelings towards it. I mean, I'm not exactly thrilled with the number, but, that's why the description, the topic says under the radar moves. That is Brett Veach's bread and butter. So for me, for my last point, that's when I'll jump into the, if I was Brett Veach, big ball type things, then I'll do that. But because, we have these lesser moves that, again, I know, Dale, you said that Jalen Moore is a future thing. I at this point, to me, it felt like a Band-Aid. And I know it's a 2-year deal, but all the money is kind of front loaded, and they make it very easy to jump out of his contract, just like how Jawan Taylor's contract is for next offseason if he does not perform to par. So the Chiefs may have a time when they need to address both tackle positions at the same time. No, Dale, let me finish my take. Thank you.
I'm not talking. Like you were getting ready. I'm not worried about what you're saying. I'm over here chilling. You ruined it for yourself, Clinton. You ruined it. You ruined the aura of it. You ruined it.
You were happy. You're like, I'm ready to respond now.
No, I'm chilling. I'm over here trying to get my breath together. Hey, I'm fat, fam. Like, let's not talk about my health problems on air. Like, okay, let's chill.
Okay.
Mute yourself.
Back on task. So I saw a little bit of it. I saw that he only started 4 games. And for me, I've always thought that tackles, specifically offensive linemen, if you're really great, the team tries to keep you in any which way. And to me, why did the Niners not value him enough to at least say, you looked good, so let's put you at right tackle and we'll pay you this amount. So, that 15 to 20-ish million, the 49ers, they could also pay that. And if they already have Trent Williams at left, he wasn't going to beat him outright. So to me, you're getting a left tackle filler whose floor is definitely better than what we've seen last year, from Morris starting to Kingsley starting to Humphries being in there on injury. And of course, Tooney being in there when that's not his spot. He's going to do better than all those guys, but he played a variation of what we play in terms of Shanahan is notorious for getting that ball out very quickly. And Mahomes is the type to run around and try to make extra plays. So I just hopefully we don't see the same scenario where the left tackle assumes that Mahomes is going to get rid of the ball. He holds it for an extra half second and his rusher gets around him because he was holding for a normal amount of time versus the Chiefs offensive line Mahomes length amount of time necessary. So that's just one thing that we need to look out for. And if he's going into the season as the guaranteed left tackle starter, then it should be pretty obvious within preseason and first couple games whether or not he's, that level that he should be for in terms of the Chiefs left tackle and what type of performance we are hoping for them, especially for the money that we're giving to him. And then for me, for Christian Fulton, same type of feeling. I like it because I think it's a move that is with intention because you did not bring back Justin Reed, and we'll talk about that in the last segment in terms of who we did not bring in. But you decided to bring back Nick Bolton, which helped your linebacker, but your secondary still felt a little lacking. And it wasn't because the names in the room weren't there, but it just felt like Spags was needing that extra second piece that essentially allowed him to keep Trent McDuffie in the slot full time, where he can be the best corner in the league, going against the third option on a route, locking him up, and just having to force the other team's second best wide receiver to make plays against us. And most of the time that happened when Joshua Williams was thrown in the fire, when Najee Johnson was thrown into the fire, when Shamari Connor was thrown out there in limited snaps, and even at times Jalen Watson in his recovery when he was trying to make his return during the postseason. I think this for sure is a cornerback 2, maybe quarterback 3 type contract, and that's just what it costs in the NFL now. And I feel like this allowed Spags to have some security and just say, Trent, you're in the slot full time. We've got this in our boundary corners. If Jalen Watson can't do it, Joshua Williams can, but Christian Fulton can stack up on one side of the line, stop that wide receiver, jam him up, and just make the secondary and our coverage not look as bad last season as it did. And I think in turn would also increase our pass rush and hopefully increase our sack numbers. So we may see Chris Jones and George Karlaftis benefit from that more sticky coverage in the secondary. So we may make that money back in that way. And, I'll throw out the name Elijah Mitchell. It's not pretty. And I think if we use him correctly, he can be, a Damian Williams type. I know he's very prone to injury and very likely to be injured. But, $3 million for a backup running back. There's people that would like to see Kareem Hunt come back. That may or may not still be an option. I think Carson Steele is going to make the roster as a fullback again. Whether or not we even choose to use or run fullbacks, I think Andy just likes the player enough to want to keep him. But it's Isaiah Pacheco's job anyway. But if he can spell him a little bit and take those screen passes for 60 yards and be a difference maker, I think that's basically all we need Elijah Mitchell to do.
Yeah, only rebuttal I had to the take, Clinton, is only thing we need in a tackle is you cannot get ran around. No, we don't care what you do. Letting somebody do what Trey Hendrickson did to them young men earlier in the year is unacceptable. That's why they got benched.
Hopefully we don't
As
have
long
that
as you
problem.
as long as you are NFL capable, and this is what we're saying, within the 7 games that he played, you did not see nobody run around him and not get to okay now because I would people that ran the hoop on him, and that's what I was talking to a friend off air, and he was saying he's got ran around too before. Yeah, your tackle is gonna get beat, but the way that Kingsley and Wanye were getting beat last year was unacceptable to be on a team that's competing for a Super Bowl. Like, not touching somebody clean around the edge, your quarterback slamming the ball on the ground. Like, no. I think he's enough of NFL caliber to make an adjustment and not let that happen. So that's the only rebuttal I had. I don't think you have to worry about that coming in. It's more of, okay, how many downs can he hold up? You know, it's not about him just get it. You're going to get an efficient offense. How efficient can it be? How long can he hold up for? What can he, I don't think it's going to be any other question other than that, because he can play. He played 7 games in the NFL. The kid can play.
Right.
And I was just mentioning the farm system that we're having as well too. I mean, you said it was in the name. I just wanted to put it out there. Either be injured and don't get the chances that you get and come over to the Chiefs and have a lot of upside, or be a player that's on the bench or a young talent that, people don't want their contract anymore, and we'll try to take a chance on you as well too. It looks like we go for the guys with a lot of upside, who has youth and who didn't get those chances. So that's why, I feel like we were trying to get a Ronnie Stanley. They said, like, I was listening to Nate Taylor and them earlier, and I know how we feel about him lately with these takes, and he been having him making us go crazy, thinking that we're gonna do certain things. But he said, like, depending on how, if Ronnie Stanley came to Monday, that Nick Bolton deal could have probably been a lot different, or who knows how we go about that one as well. So I think that's why when Ronnie Stanley left the market, they went with the plan that they already had in place, their backup. Let's go ahead and sign more. There's going to be an upside we have with that. Rock with him. Elijah Mitchell, let's bring him in. You gave him a comp to Damian Williams. Guess what I'm giving him a comp to? Jet McKinnon. Guess what he dealt with as well? Injury before he got over to us with the 49ers and the Vikings. And his size, yeah, like you see, like his size, I think with him being in the dual back system now, because when he had to take over, Christian McCaffrey, I believe, got hurt, and he had to like take over for the entirety of that season. And with that happening, of course, he played, I think the most games that he ever had was 11 games in the season. So him coming over to match up with Pacheco, it makes sense. And you just mentioned it as well too. Carson Steele, we know he probably won't get on the roster as a free agent. We keep on talking about maybe we do something with Kareem Hunt. Honestly, we might go in the draft and try to get younger and try to see if we can find Pacheco replacement for next year. Who knows? Gotta get ready for that. He dealt with 3 major injuries already. And I mean, he fought through them, and he was pivotal in our Super Bowl runs as well. But we take a look at that as well too. And if we can find a guy that can come in and be ready to go, and who fits well into the system that can be a weapon, got to be on the lookout for that as well. But I think overall, I think we have somewhat of the same sentiment. We just got to see what Jalen Moore does. That's it. If he play well, that's it. We're happy. We're satisfied.
Right. And neither of you guys had a flashy move, so I gotta throw it out there, because when the move of Laramie Tunsil getting traded to the Washington Commanders came out, and I saw the mid-round picks that it took to make that trade happen, I heard what you guys said about hoping that Jalen Moore is this long-term future thing. Laramie Tunsil, say what you will about like his skill levels and the penalties and all that stuff. If you wanted a player for 3 to 5 years to just stick there and not worry about left tackle again, that was the move. If Brett Veach was truly, let's just take left tackle completely off the list versus like kind of erase some of the marking on it, then I think Laramie Tunsil was a slam dunk. Chiefs love their mid-round picks. They have an additional 3rd round this year for L'Jarius Sneed. We traded last year. You got a 4th round pick for Joe Tooney that we don't even know about that you could throw in there. Why not take this type of chance? I mean, they made these kind of draft choices after they lost in Super Bowl 50 or against the 55 to the Buccaneers, but they also signed Joe Tooney for a lot of money for the most money at guard at that time. And at that point, we're like, whoa, this much money at guard and left tackle is this red flag. And that's when they made the trade for Orlando Brown. And it takes a 1st round pick to make that happen. We hope that he's long-term and he's young, kind of one of these, what you said, a pick that kind of sat on the bench and thought could maybe either take over, but just kidding, the guy in front of you is playing good enough to continue getting paid enough, and that skill gap between you guys isn't enough to take the chance, so we'll ship you off. And I think, Jalen Moore's case, that doesn't reflect well that he kind of walked away. But if we had taken that shot for Laramie Tunsil, I don't think any of us are talking about left tackle in a while. I mean, there could be some issues or problems with his play, and we could argue that. But I don't think any of us have like the question marks that we have about left tackle, even after we make this signing, and even after we go into the draft and rookie mini camps and stuff. There's still going to be question marks around that position. But if you make this Laramie Tunsil trade, you have none.
And
I get what. Yeah, go ahead.
And all I was gonna say is it is similar to 55 though. Clinton, because you signed Trey Smith. It's just not Joe Tooney this time. I think it's just reversed. You sign Trey Smith and you make him the highest paid guard, and then you got to go out and you got to go find the diamond in the rough guy. This might have been the plan in 55, but Orlando Brown just became available. And Orlando Brown, compared to Laramie Tunsil at this stage in his career, I feel like it's a big difference. Laramie Tunsil is on a decline, my guy, down there in with the Texans. And that wasn't the case with Orlando Brown. Orlando Brown was a young player he wasn't on a decline. He had a lot of potential, and he could formulate. We knew he could formulate good. He could be a great left tackle. He hadn't played in the Chiefs system before. It was kind of the same situation. He wasn't dropping back and setting the hole, but he wasn't doing a lot of that. And we knew he was going to have to learn that coming here. I feel like what the Chiefs just needed was that NFL experience. I think that's what we're not counting. I think we're kind of discounting. They didn't have that last year. No NFL. You had a seldom to none with Wyatt Morris.
Oh, yeah.
He got a little bit of clock. It wasn't even as much as this guy. So they needed that real legit NFL experience. You can't keep preying on these guys that are sketchy. You can't come in here and trust. So that's all I wanted to say about that. But go ahead.
But I mean, I'm on both sides of it, because Clayton, I think you do make a great point, because this could be similar to Trent Williams, however you want to call it, whatever like that. Trent did leave the Redskins, went over to 49ers, played well. He got that extension because he was the best left tackle in the league. Houston, they was on the decline that entire year. Their offensive line that year was terrible. They kind of dealt with what we dealt with. We just got past them and got past the AFC Championship game. You see, they let go of Shaq Mason. You see, they let go of like their right tackle and traded Laramie Tunsil as well too. I think what he's saying is, with us needing that type of tackle, he wouldn't got done bad like Wanye and Kingsley, like you just said. And that's where his point does make sense for that. He will be an upgrade by 1,000%. And then you're at the lower end of 30. Like I said, you're willing to give Trent a 4-year massive extension, a massive contract, trading for him with the 49ers at 32. Oh man, that's crazy. And I hope that's not true, because I've been saying that the whole time. We'll talk about that later. But nah, for real, overall, I think y'all both right. But at the end of the day, I was gonna say that was well too. Laramie Tunsil, we saw him get brutally murdered by us though in both games. We were killing them. In both games we had a massive amount of sacks, and I think that's what turned off Lonnie as well too. Where that is fair, where you saw what happened to that guy in those games. So I get it, but overall it is what it is. But man, like the news that we just seen in the chat space as well, I'm kind of angry because I wanted him badly. I'm not lying.
Well, Dale's hitting at it, so I won't belabor us in our current free agent tops anymore. So let's jump into our final topic, which is the free agent departures. So we had to see some former Chiefs players go. We had to watch from both sides of the ball. We saw some defensive players, some offensive players, more so in the defense and more notable and more paid on there, but respect to both sides. So in your guys' opinion, whose departure hurts the most in terms of their impact? And do you think the contract that they received was right on point? underpaid or an overpay?
Go ahead, go.
The player that I don't think hurts the most, but the player I'm most proud of, the player that I feel like I've seen grow the most, the player that I really wish that the Chiefs kind of probably could have retained. He was just kind of like a hidden gem. Is Turk Wharton. Turk Wharton, if you don't know about him, if you haven't been a Chiefs fan, number 98, he tore his ACL, I think, 2 years ago. Got a 1-year deal coming off of that situation. Had a good year. Then he wanted to test the market again, had to come back to the Chiefs on another 1-year deal, had an outstanding year the following year, which was this year. Ended up getting a $30 million deal. This man is the epitome of like the American dream, the epitome of stay down till you come up, understanding that if you work hard, good things will come to you. Turk Wharton is a dog, bro. 8.5 sacks. He led the Chiefs in sacks last year, which is amazing. Which is another reason I also think that we need to bring Chris Jones back to the table to probably have a different conversation, because he plays interior just like Mr. Chris Jones. It was amazing to see Turk really go out there and get his money for the Carolina Panthers. I was happy for him. I was kind of salty that he left, but when you see a guy get a deal, flip 2 1-year deals in a $30 million, you can't do anything but be proud of the guy. I mean, he did everything for the Chiefs. From stopping the run to being a rotational guy on the defensive line, to leading the team in sacks. I was just watching the Chiefs' top plays from last year, and one of them was the forced fumble against Cincinnati. Turk Wharton is in on that play, causing the fumble. So it's like Turk had his hand all over the Chiefs organization. I feel like for the first time in his career, since he's been with us, and he's been with us for a pretty long time. But seeing a man go through what he went through, and then come out on the other side of it, $30 million guaranteed, 3-year deal, sitting pretty fat with his family, living good. You can't do nothing but be happy for a man that was able to kind of really beat the odds. He's not supposed to be where he is right now, and he was able to do it. So hats off to Turk Wharton. And like I said, that's the ones that I was kind of heard about, but I'm proud of him.
Yeah, Turk's. I'm not gonna lie. Turk was the most surprised. Lost. I knew he was leaving. I knew he was gonna get some type of money. I didn't know he was gonna get that. I was more surprised on the contract, the amount that he got. I was like, oh yeah, Kansas City wasn't giving that to him, and I respect it as well too, because guess what? He did lead the team in sacks this season, and we just paid Mr. Chris Jones that year, standing him of what he did the prior seasons and what he did a year ago as well. And he came out and said, no, this would have been me if I didn't have that injury. I'm not gonna lie. This is a hot take as well too. If he wasn't injury prone, if he didn't have those injuries that he had prior, the Chiefs might be making a decision on like, Chris Jones, you want to walk or what's up?
Oh, I got an even
That's
hotter take. If Turk Wharton went to the bigger school in Missouri, the Chiefs find a way to resign him. Continue with your take.
Yeah, who knows? Real, he went to Missouri S&T. He's homegrown, bro. But that was the one I was most surprised with. Now, the one I think that will hurt the most is Justin Reed, just because of what we saw, what he did in that back end for us, keeping it together. After the departure of Tyrann Mathieu, he came in and he played with Tyrann Mathieu as well. And honestly, it wasn't a drop off when we see him come in. It was actually a little bit more of an upgrade because Tyrann was aging, but we got Justin Reed at the right age, which is why he got another big deal, because he's still at a good enough age to get that last contract that he deserves. But what he did overall, how he kept it together, how he was just firing off of the ball with those big plays for those tackles for a loss, had some great interceptions as well too. But he kept the connection. It was a great connection between him and Nick Bolton, with the communications from the back end all the way going up to the defensive line, and then telling them what's going on this end right here as well too. We saw that perfection for 2 years, which resulted in the best defense in the league, and also 2 Super Bowls before we had this big loss in this Super Bowl right here. So I think the Justin Reed one kind of affected me a little bit more. I was expecting to re-sign him because what we were seeing from this market as well too, it was like he might have a market with everyone else. He might have a market somewhere, but guess what? He ends up going to the New Orleans Saints, and guess who he's partnering up with? Tyrann Mathieu, New Orleans Chiefs. Boy, I tell you, I'm cool with it. I always got love for Nola too. We always had that weird love for him. But shout out to Turk. Shout out to shout out to Justin Reed, and also shout out to DeAndre Hopkins as well too, getting one more chance to go run it back, try to get a chance with the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson.
A hand-me-down city in New Orleans. Sorry.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I think I agree with your point. Turk is a fan favorite around here. Arguably at times was as good as Chris Jones at times, was kind of that perfect teammate right next to him. And honestly, Jonathan Allen was kind of my dream pickup, putting him next to Chris Jones. But for $20 million a year, that was not going to happen. And at $18 million a year, that was also not going to happen. Maybe it feels like an overpay from a Chiefs fan perspective, but I think for the impact that he'll bring to the Panthers, I think will warrant that payday. And the Panthers are that type of franchise. They need to spend that type of money and get those for sure players. And they understand that fixing their offensive and defensive lines are the way to get long-term success, not just which quarterback didn't work for me this year. Okay, trade and start over again. And then Justin Reed, Dale, you and I, we already talked about this over the weekend. Nick Bolton comes back. We figured they would have to bring back at least one of those two players, and Nick Bolton was the one they chose. And you break the money per year down. Justin Reed gets like around $11 million, and Nick Bolton gets 15. So is Nick Bolton $5 million a year better than Justin Reed? The tape and fans can argue alike. But I might almost have to agree with you that D-Hop is kind of the one that, I don't say hurts the most, but you just would have hoped that connection would have continued. I guess not having the Super Bowl left a slightly bitter taste. So you had to just jump ship. And, maybe the Chiefs said, no, we're just going to, get a couple players in the draft, and we're for sure going with Hollywood and Xavier and however much of Rasheed we can get for next year. I don't know if any player really, stuck out to me. I could throw Justin Watson's name out there, and I don't think any of us are super surprised. I think Sky Moore can honestly take his role if he was trustworthy enough to catch the ball 8 times a season, like Justin Watson did. Like, if you can catch a random 2-point conversion, that's all that Justin Watson's needed, and I think that's all that Sky Moore would need to do. So,
where is me still?
Just don't get in the way.
Damn, yeah, but you are right, bro, because it's just Justin Watson. I think what we can say is at times it's crazy. He was the number 2 receiver on the team when we had some of the guys that we were expected to be like the numbers 2 and number 1 altogether. He was just Mr. Reliable, but at times he did have some big drops as well too. But really, all we asked in Scott Moore is, bro, he was really supposed to be a 4 or 5 receiver. Just be a 4 or 5 receiver, and you're all right. And that's why I said we only probably need one more, because we got Nico sitting at 6. So I can tell you right now, we got Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown. Then all the way down, number 6, you got Nico. So all we have is 4 and 5 left. I don't know who we feel. I wanted DeMarcus Robinson. That's why I was upset. That's who I was talking about, y'all. I wanted him to fill that 4th spot and then draft somebody. They still arguing about maybe Tyler Lockett, but I don't know.
He's a burner.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I heard his new interest there. So
K-State, I could see it all the way, and that's a burner. He's a bomb threat for sure. So it makes sense.
I hope Lamar and D-Hop don't have a connection. Just because I wanted the connection with us, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I wanted him to win with us.
It was something that the Chiefs didn't like there.
No, he's getting old. I think the way our offense is ran. Think about if we're healthy, we're not going for D-Hop. We're not going for D Hop to be healthy, in my opinion. You brought back Hollywood Brown because it's like you wanted to see them three together. You already had that offensive vision in your brain. And we saw a little bit of that when he came back in week 16. Like, I like it. And Rashid, we see what he was doing the first 4 weeks before his injury occurred.
Mm-hmm.
And then Xavier Worthy just bloomed. He just bloomed because he got hurt. I think it's like when you see them three, it's like now we want them to be the main guys with Travis Kelce. And I'm not that upset. I'm really not that upset with D Hop leaving.
Right. And I already kind of talked about this earlier when I threw Elijah Mitchell's name out there, and the fact that the Chiefs chose him, that would also probably insinuate that Kareem Hunt is not likely to return, and they will go younger in the draft for some running back replacements. So what are your thoughts about Kareem Hunt, not getting to finish on that high note and not getting to finish his career with the Chiefs?
It was fun, bro. It was a fun comeback story. I wish we wasn't dealing with the tackle issues that we were dealing with. I think it would have been a different story. I think it would have been something that he can ride away into the sunset. Like, it was a whole 360 for my career. Left a team that, being from Mahomes, honestly probably would have had so many championships. Who knows? Go to the Browns, back to my hometown, make it pop, get back into the league. Was actually, formidable there and have my moments there. And to be on the couch and then come back and then go into the Super Bowl as well too. I know he wants a chance again. If he depend on what he's coming back for, who knows, bro? I don't know.
Right.
But we know that they want to go younger.
Yeah.
You average 3.5 yards a carry. Now, that doesn't mean you wasn't a bruiser, and that doesn't mean you were having a lot of tackles for loss, right? But still, we know we missed that pop. And when we had it with Pop, Jet McKinnon, and even Clyde being out there as well too, it looked good. It looked fresh. And I think they want fresh. If Pop didn't get injured, we probably would have saw Carson Steele eventually flourish because he was going to get probably as many carries. And we would have saw him in certain moments where he could have been like, oh, that was nice. Had fun. Samaje Perine doing what he does at the back, out of the backfield, had a couple of big plays as well too. It would have been felt refreshing. It didn't feel as refreshing because Kareem Hunt came in out of shape. Not really out of shape, but he came in, had to get back in, and he was just working. It was boring, y'all. We can be real. It was boring. Like, when we was watching the game, it's like, cool, we winning. Like, we're football fans. We want to win, but it was boring. A little bit. But it is what it is.
Lonnie, you have anything?
Nope. All in all, this is what we got. This is the chips that we got. We got to deal with the players that we have. And all we can do is keep hoping for guys, waiting to hear rumors and see who's the next guy to get taken on the board. But I think that we filled as many necessary holes as we could. I know it may be some more stragglers coming in here later, but I think for the most part, everything else is going to come through the draft. So,
right. I feel that any thoughts or predictions over the next couple weeks you guys think's coming down the pipeline?
I mean, I was gonna say something for a tackle, but I mean, if they went out and got this guy, paid him $20 million. I don't see nothing else coming from a tackle anytime soon. That's why I said I don't see no moves happening really into the draft, unless you're going to get a defensive lineman, another one that we just ain't heard of on a roster sitting somewhere, waiting to get some money or something. So I know they need another guy to pair with Chris Jones because that was a big factor in last season. Charles Omenihu played a big role. So if anything, I see them probably going to get a lineman or something. I wouldn't be surprised if a defensive lineman, something like that, came through.
Gotcha.
Yeah, stuff happens tonight as well. Like, tomorrow is the start of NFL free agency, and that's when a lot of these people who are still on like the NFL list, like the NFL free agent list, we'll probably start seeing them get signed. Be on the lookout for a defensive lineman. We're looking for a D tackle. Watch out for Malik Collins. He's a hometown kid from center. If we're trying to get somebody to, of course, fill in that spot and then still get a younger guy, then be on the lookout for a wide receiver as well too. You know, like we said, we try to find that fourth option, right? Somebody come in, fill in. You got the Deontay Johnsons out there. You got a couple other guys as well too. DN. Um, DN is another one. Von Miller. Who knows if he come back? This guy's old. I don't want nobody older though. But you know, we might want a vet or something like that. That's something to look out for. And safety wise, because we lost Justin Reed, maybe Justin Simmons on a 1-year deal. I don't know. They like Hicks. They like from what I was hearing earlier. They do like Hicks. I think they want to be that guy. So if you're looking for a vet, come in and just try to fill in areas. Who could be a starter too? Justin Simmons can be an option. So basically, what I'm telling Chiefs fans, we got some things that can surprise us tomorrow or tonight, and be like, "Ooh, okay," and we might have to talk about it tomorrow. Be for real.
Maybe.
Depending on what it is.
And from my perspective, I hope the only thing we see is the Chiefs realize they're in debt and they start to ask their players if they can hand them money that doesn't count so they can have money back so that they're no longer in the red. That's what I think, and most likely is going to happen.
Restructures, right? Restructures,
all that. Every player that's older than 26, hey, are you worth this money? Can we penny pinch you a little more? We got some more things to fix. And then at that point, if and when those moves happen, we may see a couple more transactions happen. But I think at this point, we saw the key players that are here and the ones that we lost. And at this point, it's draft season. This is where Brett Veach and his team really shines. And that's what they're looking forward to next. And I know it's going to be a full year until we know if all the players that were selected during this free agency and tampering period that the Chiefs chose to bring back, it's going to take a full year to know if any of all those moves worked out and who was right and who was wrong. But we appreciate all of you guys for watching and listening to us. If you watched this or listened live or after the fact, we appreciate it. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, comment, and share all of our stuff on all the social media platforms that you follow us on. We've gone over an hour, so I will not belabor this any longer. Have a good rest of your week. And as always, go Chiefs.
Thanks for checking out this update straight from the heart of Chiefs Kingdom. We appreciate your passion. So please leave a like and follow us wherever you tune in from. See you next tailgate, your trusted source for all things Chiefs, Red Kingdom Media.